Hey everyone, it's Monday, June 14th. The time is 4:25 p.m. and the temperature outside is 18 degrees Celsius. I'm here at Queen Station, which is located in downtown Toronto. And it sits at the south end of the Eaton Centre shopping mall, which is only partially open right now. Only essential retailers and stores that have street-facing entrances are allowed to be open. And this entrance to the mall here is closed. And I'm currently heading up to street level. And this here is Queen Street. And that's a look to the west. And for this one, I'll be heading down to Adelaide Street West. And then from there, I'll walk west through the financial district, as well as the theater district, and I'll finish up in the fashion district. It is raining lightly right now. I do have an umbrella in my backpack, so it's pretty much the same story as the walk I filmed yesterday. And there's a look north up Yonge Street. And I'm on my way to pick up a new e-scooter. And the place where I'm heading is on Adelaide Street. So that's what prompted this video. And there's a look west along Richmond. Although I won't be recording in the store. So if you're looking forward to seeing the e-scooter, I'll have a video up featuring that in the coming days. And perhaps I'll throw a picture up on Instagram of it. And it looks like the store just emailed me. And all is well, so it should be ready to go. So here is Yonge and Adelaide. That was a look to the east along Adelaide Street East. And now I'm walking west along the north side of Adelaide Street West. I was wondering if this Winners location was going to be open, and it appears that it has. As is. Sometimes I get simple words crossed up. Although the lineup doesn't appear to be nearly as big as the one up at College Station, or their very small location at Yonge and Eglinton, near where I live. That one is mostly frequented by people who work in the financial district. The lineup wraps around the building there. And there's a look up at Scotia Plaza, which for the time being is the second tallest building in the city. And on my right here is the Bay Adelaide Centre. And there is the new Scotia North Tower going up. So the two existing towers of 51 and 44 stories, I think were completed back in 2009, and they're finally being joined by a third shorter tower. I think that one will be around 32 stories. And this is also where the TV show Suits is set. And for a while it was not uncommon to see TV crews set up outside this building. And there's the former Trump Tower, Toronto, now the St. Regis. And here's Bay Street. And maybe I'll cross over to the south side. You will notice there are streetcar tracks on Adelaide. And at one point, Adelaide has been used to service numerous streetcar lines. However, they've fallen into a state of disrepair, and I think the last time they were used was back in 2010. And they were just used as backup tracks when the Queen or King streetcars got diverted. And there was a plan to repair them in the early 2010s. But I think that was kiboshed. As you'll notice, there's stretches of streetcar tracks where it is not continuous. And here is the Cactus Club. It's a rather trendy place to eat and get a drink here in the financial district. It's good to see their patio open. And there's a look up at a building I used to work at, and what is, at least for the time being, the tallest building in Canada. That's First Canadian Place. And it's just shy of 300 meters or 1,000 feet, meaning that other than the CN Tower, Toronto doesn't actually have a super tall, which is a bit surprising since it leads the continent for quite some time now in terms of number of high-rises and skyscrapers under construction. And there is, I think his name is Juan Plensa. He's a Spanish artist. And that's his dreaming 3D head. It's quite trippy. I've featured that in videos in the past. And you'll find similar installations installed in various cities throughout the world. I think I saw Action Kid go by one in Miami before. And as you can tell, Even though it's what would normally be rush hour, the financial district is quite dead. Right here in the corner used to be a Starbucks, and then it turned into an experimental Tim Hortons, where they made all their food fresh in store, including their baked goods. But they closed their doors recently. I'm guessing that would be pandemic related. I'm not entirely sure of the exact reason. Well, there's a lot of businesses around here that are clearly suffering by the fact that not too many people are working from the office. And this is York Street. And just to the south of Adelaide, just south of Adelaide actually, on the corner here, there used to be a grand old opera house. And that went back to the 1800s, and it was demolished, I think, in 1927. There's a look back at the financial district. I've always liked the view from right here. I might just be fishing for a thumbnail. Maybe it'll look neat with cyclists in the shot. Speaking of which, these bike lanes went in back in 2014. Adelaide is a one-way street that runs across downtown in the eastern direction, and just north of here, one block, is Richmond, which runs to the west and also has a bike lane. So together they form a track. And at one point, it was the busiest circuit for cyclists in the city. Although I think Bloor Street probably has that distinction right now. And here is University Avenue, so we'll be leaving the financial district. There's the Four Seasons Hotel and condos. There's also a Momofuku, probably said that wrong in there. So here's an N-Wave steam plant. It's kind of an unusual location. I'm not sure if my camera is picking up the CN Tower lurking behind it. And there's the old Bishop Apartments and Pretzel Tavern. And believe it or not, that building goes back to 1830. It looks like I'll have to cross over to the north side here. So this is Adelaide and Simcoe. It's kind of a neat sky right now. And hopefully the rain holds up. Or the lack of rain for that matter. Here's a new tower going up that incorporates the facade of an older building. And on the right side There's a number of pretty decent restaurants. We have a Burger's Priest, and there's a Smokes Poutineery. And an Indian street food obsession, Chaska. For a brief period, that was a Smokes burrito shop. That was short-lived, probably due to the fact that Burrito Boys is next door. And I think this building will have 9 office stories, or 9 stories of office towers, and then there'll be rental apartments. As well as a hotel. Just on the south side is the heart of the theater district along King Street. And up here on the right is Crocodile Rock, the former home of Crocodile Rock. That was pretty much an institution in this area for a night out of cheap drinks. And they closed their doors after a little under 30 years, and it looks like a 68-story tower is planned for that lot. I used to head there after work fairly often. It'll certainly be missed. There's a neat view of the CN Tower. And here's Bar 244, also known for its cheap drinks. But unlike Croc Rock, they survived the pandemic restrictions. At least it appears that way. And Croc Rock had a pretty neat rooftop patio as well. And there is Pie. That's a very good Northern Thai restaurant. And they have a new location up at Yonge and Eglinton. And a lot of these bars are sort of remnants of when this used to be the old clubbing district. Along Adelaide here and Richmond, as well as Duncan and Peter and John. There used to be all sorts of bars and clubs. And a bunch of condos moved in. People complained about the noise, and everything sort of migrated south down to King West. It was also back during the era of the mega club. And those don't really seem to exist anymore. This place has some outdoor seating set up. And this corner is usually quite lively on a Friday or Saturday night. There's the Town Crier Pub, what used to be the Office Pub, right next to it. And one of the better new condos in the city, at least in my opinion. Used to be an old Fox and the Fiddle on that lot that got replaced by a condo and a much swankier Fox and the Fiddle. Kind of missed their old spot. It was built in an old house, or it was located in an old house. And of course our local Hooters. I was going to record a bike ride today, but with this rain sort of being off and on, and the fact that I already had a reason to come downtown this afternoon, I decided to revisit Adelaide Street. It's been a while since I've recorded along here. Here's yet another new tower going up. I should probably do as that sign says and check my posture a bit more often. Walking around with this camera, I tend to lean forward just a little bit to sort of keep my eye on the viewfinder. And here is Peter Street.
I can make.
There's where General Assembly Pizza is located. I saw one of their delivery trucks or large vans while recording a video before, and I wondered what it was. Apparently they'll deliver you custom-made frozen pizzas or fresh. You can take the option. And the next major street coming up will be Spadina. Then where I'm heading is in between Spadina and Bathurst Street. But I think at the end of the walk, since I'm not heading into the store with the camera, there's a little street I've yet to explore on the channel. Oh, that's pretty cool. Lacking umbrellas, but I think it would be well shaded if it weren't for the rain. I'm sure it would be somewhat busy, but there's a street called Adelaide Place. It's a very short street. It's about half a block or so, and it's got some really nice old homes on it. It's almost something I could do one of those hidden Toronto videos on. And I think maybe this building here is where Turbo nightclub used to be. I remember going back there in the mid-2000s, probably closer to the early 2000s. And here's Spadina Avenue. And to look north towards Queen, and north of there is Chinatown. And to look south. I kind of like this building at Front and Bathurst, or Front and Spadina, rather. It's got kind of a funky industrial vibe to it. It reminds me a bit of the buildings you see in cities like Seoul and Bangkok that you don't really see around Toronto. had a pretty busy day so far. I was able to get onto the provincial booking system and get my second dose booked. So I'll be going on Thursday for that. And I also managed to get a haircut. So if you're a bit curious about that experience, well, hair salons aren't open properly. I think I'll put a video up on my Johnny Stumbles channel, and that'll go up either Tuesday or Wednesday. Then I'll probably do a video where I go get my second shot. I did one of those on my other channel as well when I got my first shot. Although the second one's going to be at a very different location, not a pharmacy, so that'll be interesting. Also, I'm getting a mixed shot. I don't know what the second one is yet, but it'll be of the mRNA variety. I'm assuming that's an English soccer fan, given that the Euro Cup is going on right now. And I think once we're past Portland here, we'll be in the fashion district. As this area, particularly Richmond Street, was known for its textile industry. I better make sure my external audio is still recording. It cut out on me when I was recording on my way over to get my hair cut. Although it only stopped a minute early, so it wasn't so bad. So I decided just to plug my microphone into my main phone. I was using an old Galaxy S8 because it had an audio jack. But it has randomly stopped recording at some points in the past, so I said, screw that. I'm going to start just using my normal phone, which I sometimes glance at to check out maps, or just to make sure I'm not forgetting anything while I record these walks. And in the process of pulling the phone out, I might inadvertently stop the recording or do something stupid like that. And over there, the city will be installing a new playground. There's a really old public school here. The Brant Street Public School. Oh, that was not Portland, that was Brant Street. And here's an old school looking hardware store. So Adelaide's got a bit of an unfinished vibe to it. It's kind of cool. You've got old warehouses and industrial buildings and homes and new condos. It's a really neat variety on the street. And there's a new condo going in, 123 Portland. And the place I'm heading to is in that building just over there. I said I'd be there around 5 o'clock and it's 4:54. walking directly into the sun. And right at Bathurst Street, straight ahead, is St. Mary's. It's a rather nice old church. Although that is not the end of Adelaide Street. It continues as a mostly residential street for several blocks to the west of there. And there's where I will be getting my scooter. If you're wondering what the name of the place is and what they sell, I'll talk about all of that in a video I do, hopefully within the next few days. Technically, scooters are banned in the city of Toronto, but I think it's a rather silly law, and it's one that seems to be unenforced, as any intelligent argument against e-scooters could also be made against e-bikes, which are legal. I'm a big fan of two-wheeled personal transportation. I think it's definitely the future in a city like this. And here is the street I wanted to finish up at, Adelaide Place. And there's some really neat old homes just up here on the left. If I were to guess, I would say early 1900s, possibly late 1800s for these. You'll find little streets like this throughout downtown Toronto. They kind of come at you by surprise. Kensington Market has a few. There's one just across from City Place. And I think you can connect to King Street through here. So let's just go take a look at King. The sign said no exit, but this car behind me is making its way through here. That's the King Portland Center. And that'll be Verst and Lee Restaurant right across the street. So we're pretty much smack in the middle of one of the busiest nightlife areas of the city. These patios will probably come to life this evening. And certainly on a Friday or Saturday, this area will be rammed. It looks like this cop is getting this person with something. There's a look at Lavelle. Some street tunes. This is really cute. I definitely could have made this a Hidden Toronto video. It's got a bit of an old world feel to it. Complete with musical entertainment. And we're back to Portland Place. So on that note, I'd like to thank you for watching this stroll along Adelaide Street West. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support the channel, there's a link to my Patreon account in the description, as well as channel memberships, which are available on my main YouTube page. I also have an Instagram account, and I might put a picture up of the scooter on there. Don't want to commit to anything. And it's exactly 5 p.m. So on that note, thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you on the next one.